The Woman King is a film that's about to come out that talks about a tribe that says a tribe of exclusive Dahomey Amazons where women were the soldiers and men were not. And the women were the warriors who protected and made this empire happen. Well, I'm here to tell you that The Woman King is a sad excuse for truth because it is nothing but a lie. And hopefully these facts and this truth will make you come to the same conclusion that I am. I'm boycotting The Woman King. Thank you guys so very much for being here. First and foremost, what is The Woman King? It's a film that has predominantly all African American actors, and it's a trailer here that we're going to take a glimpse look at about what its statement is. What is it saying about these Amazons? So let's go ahead without further ado. Take a little look at the trailer itself.
An evil is coming that threatens our kingdom, our freedom. But we have a weapon. They are not prepared for.
All right, based on true events.
My king, the Europeans wish to conquer us. They will not stop until the whole of Africa is theirs. We must fight back for our people.
Haneska, you're asking me to take them to war.
Basically telling you what's going on here.
War.
Some things
Are worth
fighting
for.
for.
Yeah, based on powerful true events. Now that true events title is accurate, but when you say based on true events, you can cover that with a lot of lies. So even though I know some of you guys are probably shocked to hear this, but let's just get into the situation. Who are the Dahomey Amazons? Benin is where it's called now. The Dahomey Amazons did exist. You know, the name come from the king's wives, because the king had wives and the wives would recruit other women to join the army to protect the palace. Now, yes, it's true that women did have, they had, you know, some type of womanly and warrior attributes and attire, but it's not exactly how they depicted in this movie. In this movie, it shows a group of women with swords slashing people up, and they say that it's the white men are coming to colonize them, take them, enslave them. That's where the stuff is a lie. So firstly, yes, it's dope to think of, dang, there's women out there that were actually in the army at war and protecting the palace, mostly protecting the palace. There were two wars at the end of the 1800s. There were two wars, but one of the wars lasted about 2 months and the second war lasted about 2 years. And it was with white people. Yes, it was. But it wasn't under the context that you guys think. They were not there to colonize the Africans and take them and enslave them and sell them to the West. No, it was the Dahomey people who were actually enslaving other Africans in that territory, expanding their reign and their conquering. And other African tribes sought out French and other white people to protect them. And the Dahomey Amazons kept crossing borders and killing and murdering other African tribes that were considered independent, who were protected by some of these white people. So the white people obviously came into war, said, you're messing with people that are independent and protected by us. And that's how the war started. They didn't come there on ships to claim them and throw them on ships and enslave them. No, that's far from the truth. That's completely made up. But it goes even further than that. And before I'm going to get back to that, but I want to let you guys know when it comes to the actual army, you know, is this all exclusive woman army that for years protected and was no man could come and conquer them? It's just simply not true. In the early 18th century, his son and successor, King Agaja, found himself impressed by the ferocity of those women, and he decided to employ them as members of the palace guard, starting as a group of 800 soldiers. The troops rapidly expanded with it, their responsibilities as well. Soon there were 4,000 female soldiers successfully fighting in the territorial battles of Dahomey. In the 1850s, under the rule of King Gezo, the Mino numbered roughly half of the armed forces of the kingdom at around 6,000 women, and the superior fighting skill allowed Gezo to conquer the entire territory known today as Benin, along with most of Nigeria. How do you conquer the entire territory? Because you expand and you kill. They were murdering and killing at war with other less empowered tribes. But the key point that probably you guys have caught on to is that half of the military were 6,000 women. That means there were 6,000 men as well, part of the military. It was not an exclusive tribe of just women out here fighting people. I know people put in the trailers and a lot of the actors in here are lying and saying stuff out of ignorance, but it's just not true. There was never the Amazons. The story of the Amazons is a made-up story about all women warriors, led by women, conquered by women, dominated by women, ruled by women. Yeah, that doesn't exist. It's a fairy tale. It's a myth. But there are brave women who were part of an army who did go to war, and that is them. So you can still look up to them, right? Wrong. Because I would like to give a shout out to this man, Veritas Elcartis. He did an extensive history, bringing up all of the facts. All of the publications is backed by historical art pieces that we can always look to. But here's how the actual women looked. Not like you seen in Woman King, all of them holding swords. Here is an actual picture of them. These long sticks that you see, those aren't sticks. Those be guns. These women are holding guns. And you see in the back, there's the men in the back. These are the women. A lot of them are teenagers, very young women. Look at the type of the weapons that they had. These were led by the Minos, the leaders, rifle women. You had reapers and you had archers. And look at this. They have a cannon. It's not actually on screen. You guys can't really see it. Let me see if I could. Yeah, you guys can't see it. But off screen, there's a cannon there. Right here on the screen, if you can see it. All the way to the right here. That is a cannon barrel. How is it that a primitive African tribe has access to such powerful weaponry? Now I show you guys this. Do you guys notice that gun at the bottom? That is probably the most iconic American history weapon. That is the Winchester rifle. 2 Winchesters that were created throughout history for World War I. There was one in the early 1800s and one that was created around 1890, roughly around the time these Amazons were growing and expanding in Benin. How is it that this African tribe has access to such powerful weaponry? Ask yourselves that. How were they able to dominate other tribes? Well, because they had weaponry like this. Highly advanced than any other African nation of the time. So how is it that they would get access to this, you might ask? Well, it's painfully, this is the sad part. And here's the part where the boycott happens. These women in Woman King, the Dahomey Amazons, were slave traders. They captured slaves and gave them and traded them to the white colonizers on the shores of Africa to send to America to launch, to be a part of the international slave trade. The very same Amazons being portrayed in Woman King. These very same people that you have the nerve to parade around talking about the colonizers are coming to get us. These
freedom.
For your what? What are they going to do?
Our freedom.
They're coming for your freedom. It's a lie. Because these are the ones who sold us to America that started enslaving. You enslaved and murdered and raped your own people and sold them off. And you were given power for it, weaponry, protection, fortitude, assets that they use to oppress other African nations and expand their empire. And what's crazy is that they knew. The creators of The Woman King, of this trash movie, they know the history. They knew, because they kind of try to mirror the clothing and all that. They knew exactly what the history is of these freaking Amazons. Quote, quote. You are the sole reason why there's oppression. You're doing the opposite. They're lying to y'all. They're showing you guys African people, women, who are being oppressed by white men when y'all were the ones that oppressed their own people and sold them to the white men. They're a terrible, evil people. They sold their own people into slavery. Here's another fact for you guys. Lupita Nyong'o was courted early on to be in this movie. Lupita Nyong'o went and knew the histories, found out the histories, and here's her reaction. Oh, by the way, Lupita Nyong'o said, I'm good. I'm not going to be a part of this movie because y'all are freaking colonizing slave traders. They're slave traders. Here is a reaction of Lupita, who had a documentary. I encourage you all to watch it. It's called Warrior Women with Lupita Nyong'o. She's in Benin. That's modern day. The Dahomey is modern day Benin. And here is her reaction to finding out the truth of the Dahomey Amazons.
Martine's great-grandmother Yaga was enslaved, but remained on African soil. On the beach at Ouida is a memorial. It bears witness to the fate of thousands of prisoners that the warrior women captured by order of the kings to be sold to Europeans into the transatlantic slave trade.
It's all there.
And it bears witness to the over 2 million women and men who from the 17th to the 19th centuries were loaded onto slave ships here on what came to be called the slave coast of Africa.
It was very emotional, very overwhelming to consider that side of the story, you know. We've heard a lot about the valor of the Agojie, how unstoppable they were, but until now I hadn't really heard the other side of the story, you know. It came down from this historic, almost like glorious,
I'm gonna stop it there. This is the truth about who exactly the Dahomey Amazons were. They go by a lot of names throughout the histories, but it all comes back down to who the Dahomey Amazons, and even those have other names. But here's the sad truth about it. And I think about Viola Davis, and I think about LaShonda Lynch, and I think about all the other actors that are involved with this movie. Some of them know. They all know. It's shame on them. Maybe some of them don't know. I'll give them benefit of the doubt. Viola knows. If Lupita knows and backed out, I think they all know. Boycott the Woman King. Especially, I would assume if you're black and you have black pride and you care about historical facts and accuracies, I ask you as well to boycott the Woman King, because they're nothing but slavers. They're slave traders who murdered and raped and pillaged their own people and sold them. Savages. That's why they're able to expand and get so big. They were given powerful weapons by the white people that they traded slaves to. You give me like 50 slaves, I'll give you 500 Winchester rifles. We already won World War I, was the Civil War. What's up? We got a gang of rifles that we don't need. Let us get some of these slaves. It's a really sad thing. People, and it's cool because a lot of our people just want to listen to what Hollywood tells us and glorify what they tell us without actually looking into what it is. And normally I wouldn't have even dug in to get these receipts and this research available upon request. Google will tell you, you can research all this yourself. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't have a live stream where everybody just believed what they heard from the Woman King. Everybody just believed it. That there was an all-woman place somewhere in Africa where no man could come and conquer. Who were good and they fought against slavers and oppressors. They were the ones who were slaving and oppressing. Boycott this movie. I will. I encourage the followers of mine to do the same thing. Not just because I said so, but because I got the facts right here, Jack. Hollywood is a real big lie. And there's a lot of shame on the set of the people who decided to work on that movie and are starring in that movie. Spread the word, guys. Lead them right here. Also, I would like to shout out to that channel. I'll put his channel in the description below. He does a full, thorough, detailed history and goes through it and references everything with historical books and documents and accounts from museums and published literary scholars. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out. Deuces.